All right.
And we are live.
Pat,
Yes, we are live. It is Tuesday, the 15th, is it, of June?
Wow.
Okay, here we are. We are so excited for you guys. We're excited all the way around. Thank you for being here tonight. We have a fantastic leader in the industry who's going to be talking to us, and we are so happy about that. Before I give it all away, let me just say, if you can hear us, give us a 1 in the chat if you can hear us loud and clear and see us. And thank you for everyone on Facebook who's coming to see this, whether you're live or on replay. Let us know who you are and where you're calling in from. With that, I just wanted to say, everybody, good evening. Daria from New York, Tikeja from Florida, Amanda from New York, and of course,
everybody, all the way from New York.
Pat from New York dominating. New York dominating tonight.
New York is dominating tonight.
Yes. Taking over.
Wow. Hey, Marisol, what's up, Mama?
All right. Who's up, Marisol?
Yes.
All right, Marisol. Welcome to the show.
Jersey in the house. Hey,
yeah, we got Jersey. Okay, so okay. Let's give it a second. Make sure people are just coming in now. Please put in your name, where you're calling in from. And again, tonight, we are honored, Daria, Tikeja, and myself are honored to be having a conversation with a 7-figure leader. You're 7 figures now, right, Amanda?
Yes.
7 figures.
Oh, yeah, baby.
7-figure
Don't jump on that.
Okay. I think I knew you when you were like a 5-figure leader. So it's been a really great climb up.
Yes.
And, we just were talking with Amanda a few minutes ago. If we hadn't met Amanda and, had we not joined her program at the time, and had we not started learning and absorbing everything she learned, she taught, we would not be here together like this tonight. This group that's on Facebook, our group, was started because I remember I was in Virginia when you and I had a private conversation, Amanda, and you said you were going to put groups together. And I got on the phone and I called up Daria. I said, hey, this is what Amanda's doing. I want you to be in my group. Before you know what everybody, is doing in the groups. And so we wouldn't be here tonight if Amanda did not say, hey, let's build your business with the groups. And, we took it and we learned everything we can. And we all knew people were doing really well with groups. So we were really honored. And that's how we met T. Daria and I, as you guys know, we knew each other way back. But then we met T, and we've become, we are now.
DPT.
Now. So with all that being said, we're really, really honored and thrilled that you said yes, Amanda, to share your golden nuggets with us. I suggest everybody get your notebooks and pens out.
That's right.
You're going to want to take notes because, as we have taught you before, you can turn those notes into money by turning them into content for the next week. And with what Amanda has to share, you're going to have content for all month. With that being said, everyone, let's give some love to Amanda Wray. Smash that love button. And
thank you guys.
Go ahead, take it away. Daria, you're up.
All right. So before I get started, I just want to shout out to all the people that are jumping on Facebook. What's up, Teresa from Texas.
Valerie.
I'm not sure. I saw Valerie. I see Cherie. I see Jane. Oh, this is awesome.
Welcome. I'm going to check the Facebook, make sure everybody's looking in our thing.
Yes. Jackie. Hi, Jackie.
Yes, I'm seeing
from my hometown, Miami.
What's up?
Wonderful.
Right. I think we got everybody. We wanted to acknowledge you first before we get into it.
Yes.
Yes, yes, that's right. That's right. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, so let's get into it. So,
Oh,
Amanda, I have to say, from the first time that I laid eyes on you, I was just impressed with your content. And you probably don't even notice, but I've been following you for quite some time before I decided to join you. I was in a couple of other programs. We never really connected, probably just saw each other, but it wasn't until, you know, um, your current program, which I'm so proud of you that you have a
Thank
program
you.
that has you're over a year now, right? It's been over.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Congratulations.
Yes.
Over a
Thank you.
year with your own program. You're doing it. You have I have to say you have impacted thousands. Oh, why is my phone ringing? It seems like my phone always rings when you're doing
Oh, let's one
do
second.
not
Are we
disturb.
recording? Are we recording? It's being recorded.
yeah. Yeah, because
Okay.
we're in the group. We're in the group.
Oh,
So
good. Okay.
Absolutely.
you have impacted, I would say, thousands of people. And I know for me, you have given me the confidence to get out there. Because if you don't get out there and do what you need to do and follow the steps that are given to you by, because you're not only my friend, I look at you as my mentor.
Yeah.
You're not going to have success. And I've had much success under your tutelage. So I just want to say thank you for pouring into me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So, with that said, I want you to share with our viewers when and why you decided to come online. What made you decide to say, you know what, I need to just come online, stop playing, let me just do this?
Yes, so I would like to start out by saying thank you so much for having me this evening. It's just an honor to come out and be able to speak to everyone. And not only that, share the wealth of information that I have that I love to give to people, because what I want to do is always inspire people to know that they can do this. There's so many people that doubt themselves because of, lack of education, lack of, they feel insecure. They feel like they don't have the knowledge or what it takes in order to be successful. And that was me at one point. I was that person. There were so many insecurities, but not only that, a lack of education in the marketplace to know how the network marketing works. How does online and affiliate marketing work? What do I need to do in order to be successful?
Right.
And I just got to a point when I became extremely determined to learn the online space. Why? Because my back was against the wall. And unfortunately, sometimes it takes for us to have our back against the wall in order for us to say enough is enough. I was in jeopardy of losing my only income, and I could not see myself going back to a 9-to-5. I had someone that felt they had the power to cut me a check, and if they wanted to take it from me because they didn't like me, for whatever reason, they were going to be able to do so. And I said, you know what? Knowing that this person was like this and he had this type of control, it made me sick at night. And I just feel like when you're a mom and you're a parent and you have other people that are dependent and relying on you for their livelihood, it just puts you in a different space mentally. And I was definitely there. I was in a space where I just didn't want to have my back against the wall. I didn't want to work a 9-to-5. I didn't want to punch a clock. I wanted to break the cycle, within my family. My mom and dad, they didn't travel much. My grandparents did, but I didn't get a chance to experience that, seeing other parts of the world, different cultures. And not only that, being able to share that experience with my children.
Right.
So I started looking at on YouTube, and I know it's crazy to say this, but before 2015, I knew very little bit about YouTube. I wasn't really a YouTube person like everybody else was because I was always working. It was always the hustle and bustle. But in 2015, when I was able to experience YouTube, it just opened up a whole nother world of different things and ways to make money that I knew nothing about. And, that happens to a lot of us when we're out there and we're working our jobs and we're taking care of kids and we're doing laundry and we're cooking and we're cleaning. We don't think about what else is out there in order to make our lives better, because all we're used to is the hustle and bustle. So once I got into the online space, through YouTube, I struggled at first. The first year was a struggle. It was one of those things where it was like, oh my gosh, why can I get this? And that went on for over a year. It went on for over a year.
Wow.
So in 2016, I decided to look at online mentorship. I got me a mentor. I realized I couldn't do it by myself. I had tried and I failed over and over and over again. And I'm the type of person, you know what? I don't mind failing, because if I'm going to fail forward, that's all that matters, right?
Right.
So I took a little break. I did take a break for about 3 to 4 months. And then I started my online mentorship, and it was life-changing, because what I started to realize is that the online industry is not just about the money. It's about the connections you build with people. It's about inspiring people. And I'm all about that. I have no problem doing that. And once I learned that I had a story to tell and a story to share that people was interested in, that's when I started to really build a connection. And not only that, make money doing so. And you know what? It made me realize that the 97% of people that are failing, the number one reason why that's happening is because they're focusing on the money. They want to make the money, but they're not putting in the work that's needed in order to make the money. They're not thinking of all of the things that they need to do in order to be successful. Once I eliminated and changed my mindset, eliminated thinking about the money, right? And really focusing on what I need to do in order to make the money, it was life-changing for me, life-changing. So I started to realize, wow, and this is just a quick nugget. The average person doesn't make it within the online space, right? We only got 3% that's doing 6 figures and better.
Right.
The other 97% aren't making it, mainly because they cannot stay consistent for at least 90 days. Okay? Sometimes it's going to be longer for some, normally never shorter than 90 days. And when I had my first light bulb moment, that happened because it took me 75 days to make my first true commission within the online space. Wow. And that means 75 days of working my tail off, making absolutely nothing, doubting myself, sleepless nights, right? Doing this by myself and still having to do it until something happened. So if the average person isn't making it past their first 30 days, how would they ever make it to 90 days to see their first payout, which actually starts having that snowball effect for those consistent commissions to pour in? It doesn't happen.
Right.
And once I realized that, it allowed me to see what the true problem is within the online industry.
Yeah.
The average person isn't given enough time for it to work so that they can see the success that they're looking for. They start to have self-doubt. They start to think about all of the things that can go wrong. And then they start to think about, am I wasting my time? And unfortunately, because most of us are taught to go out there and get a job, we're taught to work the 9 to 5. In our mind, we're so used to getting paid every week, getting paid every 2 weeks, that when you start working with your online affiliate journey and you're not getting a check, that's not happening. We're brainwashed to chase a check. Right. You can't do that in this space. So now mentally you have to work on changing your mindset and focus on being consistent. And unfortunately, it's hard for a person to do that alone because we're fighting with all of the things that is running through our mind on a consistent basis. So it's great to have speakers, Facebook groups, other people in the industry that are willing to come about and inspire other people and let them know, yes, there's a challenge. Can you overcome these challenges? Absolutely. You just have to be willing to put in the time and the dedication to learning the skill set that it takes in order to be successful.
Wow. Well, you said a mouthful, and one of the main things that that you said that helped me was taking it away from me and thinking about the people that I'm serving.
Yes.
And when you do that, you can get out there and do the videos. You can get out there and put out the content. You can reach out to people.
Yes.
I'm not thinking about, you know, what are they going to say and all that stuff, because you know what your intent is.
Mm-hmm.
And once you know your intent is pure and it's genuine, then it doesn't really matter what feedback you're going to get, because you know what it is that you intend to do. So
Correct.
that's what really helped me in this industry, as far as and as well as following you and just seeing your genuineness and your realness. That's all I needed. So whatever you said, I did. If you told me to go and jump into 16 feet of water and I was going to come up a millionaire, I would have did it.
And you know what? That's another thing. It takes a leap of faith. It takes courage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, so many people, they get into different opportunities, or they just don't have the courage to think that they can do something different. And
Right.
that's mainly the things that hold us back, is the fear of failing, right? You know what? It's so crazy. I've never been that person. I'm like, listen, if it don't work, it don't work. But at least I can say I tried it, right?
Right.
And I've made some costly mistakes. I'm not going to even sit here and say I got through this with no scratches, right? I've made costly mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to do it all over again, yes, I would do it, because it was worth it. And I needed things like that to happen so that I can help people not go through the things that I went through.
Exactly.
You know, I've lost $8,000 in a program. I lost $15,000 in a program. I've depended and worked with people that let me down, that was just really out for the money. I know now how to spot a program a mile away that's not going to be here long term, right? And these are the things that we learn over the years that can help prevent people from making the same mistakes.
Yeah,
That's why through this journey that we call life, we have to fail sometimes just to help other people to overcome the challenges. And some people think, you know, it's just me. Why am I going through this? Oh my gosh, me. It's not just you.
Right.
But how would other people know if people aren't sharing their stories of the times that they have failed? That's what it's all about. It's a part of the journey. Just like at a job, you know, in any job, you know, some people stay long term, some people move up, some people leave. But then you can tell that story to other people. Oh, listen, you don't want to work there because so-and-so is racist, or whatever it could be, right?
Right.
And this is a part of the journey.
Yes.
So it's nothing different within the online space. It's just that now you're working for yourself. So that means that you have to set yourself to a higher standard, because you're no longer looking at a boss to tell you what to do. You know, that's out the window. You're just really relying on yourself and your efforts to take you to that next level. So what does that consist of? And those who are writing and got your notepad out, hopefully you got your book out, right?
That's right.
This is what we want to focus on, right? First, and I know this is going to sound so cliche. Oh gosh, here she goes with this, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And I only speak the truth. You have to work on mindset, because if you can never get past your 9 to 5, getting paid every week, getting paid every 2 weeks, how can you ever set yourself up for success working for you? You'll never get there. It's not going to happen. So number one, mindset. What I'm going to do today, what I'm going to do tomorrow, how long I'm going to stay in this for, challenging yourself day in and day out to do something different, stepping outside of your comfort zone, right? Being successful. I remember one time, and I'll never forget this. I had a boyfriend and And he told me one time, he said, I was making money. And he said to me, Amanda, he says, I don't want you to feel offended. But you know how much more you can make if you put yourself together? And I used to think to myself, put myself together. I have my own business. I'm the boss. I don't need to do that. Right? But then one day I really sat down and I thought about it, what he said. When I was in my own space, in my own mind, my thoughts was to myself. And I said, you know what? He has a point. Because I'm teaching attraction marketing, but I'm not showing that through visually. That's not what you see. And that's important.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Just like I tell people, you go into the gym, you get a personal trainer. You're not going to pick the person that's 500 pounds. You're going to pick the person that's in shape that weigh 120 pounds. And it's just a fact. It's a part of life, right? And all of these things add up and they mean something. And he was right. Because not only did it allow me to make more money, it affected the way that I felt about myself.
Yes.
If I would have never tried it, how would I know?
It's true. It's true.
How would I know? I wouldn't. So sometimes we have to step outside of our comfort zone. We got to do the things that we don't want to do. We have to make some changes and adjustments to get to where we need to be. And it's nothing wrong with that, but you have to be willing to do that. So number one, write it down, mindset. Number two, consistency.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot get anywhere in life if you're not consistent. I don't care if it's online. I don't care if it's offline. I don't care if it's a job. I don't care if it's working out, losing weight. I don't care if it's smoking cigarettes. I don't care if it's trying to have a baby. All of that stuff takes consistency.
You're right about that.
Think about it. People that want to have a kid and they can't, what do they have to do? Constantly go to the hospital. What do? They go through injections, trial after trial after trial after trial, not just one time, right? It's a consistent process. Everything. You want to lose weight. What do? You constantly go to the gym. You constantly watch calories because all of that stuff, it matters.
Right.
You want to raise at your job. You can't just come in there and be great one day.
Yeah.
Sure can.
That's not going to work. You'll be lucky if you're great every day for a year and get the raise. But it just goes to show you that you still have to stay consistent. So I tell people all the time, consistency is key. You have to stay in it to win. And even when you don't want to do it, that's when it matters the most. Write that down.
Yes.
Even when you don't want to do it, that's when it matters the most. It doesn't matter when you feel like doing it. It matters when you don't want to do it and you do it anyway. That's the part that counts. And then number three, get yourself some mentorship. You know why? And this is what was so important to me. Because even though I had the vision, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted the laptop lifestyle. I knew in my heart I didn't want to go back to a 9-to-5. I knew this. In my soul, in my bones, I knew this. Other people that were around me couldn't see my vision. Not my mother, not my father, not my best friend, not my boyfriend, not my coworkers, not the pastor at the church. People could not understand.
Yeah.
True.
So what do? You have to connect with like-minded people because that's what keeps the momentum.
Yeah.
Point blank, period. There's so many days where you're going to be in your own head, where you're going to need somebody to reach out to. You're going to need to hear something that's going to uplift you.
It's true.
That cannot come from someone who's working a 9-to-5 that knows absolutely nothing about the online space.
Right. Yeah, they don't get it.
And unfortunately, in the beginning of my journey, I made a lot of mistakes because I was listening to people that knew nothing about what I was trying to do. They couldn't see my vision. So it's always important to stay connected. That's important if you really want this online laptop lifestyle. It's really up to you. So
Absolutely.
those 3 things are the most important things that I can say helped me to really take my business to the next level and really understand what it is that I wanted and what I was looking for.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just like to say that was incredible training, and I want to do a shout out to Shari Mock Hansford. I'm reading our comments. She says, "Thank you for being authentic, Amanda Wray. It is part of the journey. Atlanta in the house." Janie Milliken, who thank you for inviting, said, "Mindset is the key." And Stephanie Mason sends her love, and Matilda. Hope I'm saying it right. Conesi is from Estawanya. Where are you from? That Estawanya? Where is that? I think it's in. Well, anyway, let us know. That sounds great. Carol Oldhouse from Nebraska says hello. Is everybody?
Yeah.
And everybody, put in a number 1 if you're getting value right now. Put in a number 1, please, if you're getting value. And we have
Absolutely.
3 minutes left. Do you guys want Amanda to go on for another 10 minutes? Put a 2 if you want her to go on for 10 more minutes. A 2.
Awesome.
And then we'll have a 5-minute Q&A.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
All right, Lisa,
everybody's loving this, Amanda. Everybody's loving it. Sorry, T.
Thank you.
it's okay.
Yes.
And
I was
thank
just
you
saying
again
that
we're getting like 1s and 2s like crazy. So people are wanting you, and let's keep it rocking. If they want you, we give the people what they want.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have
So
a
I just want to
question.
give a shout out to Lisa Cardalico. She says, Amanda, she can relate. She's been her own cheerleader because there is no one else. I think a lot of us can relate to that, right? Because we don't have our best friends in this doing this with us, right? Like, I didn't know Pat or Daria or Amanda when I started this journey, right? I met all of these ladies because I was consistent, right? That's how we met each other. If none of us were consistent, there's no way we would have been doing what we've done. There's no way we would have met Amanda. There's no way we would have been, in her group. There's just no way we would have been able to do this. But because we were consistent, this is what it brought us. It brought us all together. We have a remarkable group of ladies. Yes, I love it. I love it.
Or something where she said, "Well, I'm going to put these 3 together."
Yes. She knew. That's all I can say. She knew.
And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, you're on the call. I really want to say this because Amanda brought this up many, many months ago in a training. You had said something and it resonated with me. But, you see the beautifulness of this website, and Amanda looks great and we look great, hopefully. And, we're giving you value, right? But that this is why it's like my best friends, they don't know, they think I'm crazy, which I am, but that's another story. But they, I can't go to my best friend and say, "Oh yeah, this person joined my business," and boo. Or, for example, sometimes, it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, this business. It takes and that's the reality of it. And if I don't have, Tikeja or Daria, say, shit, I'm not getting this, like some things are really tough for me personally. Some things are tough for you, right? So it's such a beautiful thing to create your own community.
Yes.
And you're right, Tikeja. That's what you get when you stay consistent. Believe me, I want to quit. I call up these girls and I say, you know what? And like tears come out of me, and it's okay. But you've got to create that family.
And you know what? That's a part of the process. Yeah. I've had my crying nights. I've had my crying days. I've had my lonely times and moments, right? And again, it's a part of the process because again, what I was telling a lady I had a training with the other day, and I said to her, I said, you have to think of online affiliate marketing as like the underground road, like the underground place where nobody goes, nobody knows about, right?
Right.
like the secret society, right?
Yeah.
Because again, everybody is used to just working a job. We go to school to learn about how to get a good job, a great career, right? I worked in corporate America for years. Never knew nothing about this. What? Affiliate marketing? What? What are you talking about?
Exactly.
You know? And there's just so many people that will never really know about this, unfortunately. Yeah. But that's what we're here for, to try to spread it, spread the information, give people hope, inspire them, because honestly, I don't feel I was put here to work 60 years at nobody's job. That's not, especially if that's not my dream, if that's not my inspiration, if that's not my, what I love to do. Why am I doing that?
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
And people are doing that only because their backs are against the wall. They have mouths to feed. They have rent to pay. They have electricity and car notes. So they don't see a way out. That's all they know. Right.
Yes.
And that, unfortunately, a 9 to 5 is what kills dreams.
Yeah.
Every single day. Every single day. So what we want to do is keep encouraging and inspiring people to let them know it doesn't have to be this way.
Right.
You have to do something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely. You can definitely have the laptop lifestyle, and it's definitely not easy, but it is simple. Like Amanda says, if you're consistent, and that's the thing that a lot of us are missing. Like, we'll post something one day here, then we'll come back another week or two, we'll post a little something, but we haven't done it enough to actually build us some engagement, right? An audience. We don't have an audience, and we're like, hey, I got some friends, so maybe they're going to see what I post, right? But unfortunately,
Yeah. One of the things that I want to say, and I said this, I remember years ago, I was interviewed by one of the head guys of the Power Lead system when I was doing really well over there. That was like one of my first breakthroughs. I remember he said to me,
I met you.
Yes, through PLS. Yep. And I remember saying to them, like, my final words was this. And I always say this because this is the thought that comes to my head when I think of the affiliate marketing space. Yes, it's simple. Just like Tikeja said, it's simple. But simple could be very hard for some and easy for others.
Right.
The reason why, and I want to point this out, consistency is hard for some and easy for others. If you're the type of person, you're at a new job every 4 or 5 months. You got a new boyfriend every 5 or 6 months. You're moving into a new apartment every year, right? Just think about all of these things. This shows your level of consistency.
Yes.
So for some people, it's very easy. We got people that stay at their job for 3, 4, 5 years. They've been in their apartment for 2, 3, 4 years. They had the same boyfriend for 2 years, 3 years. It shows that they're very consistent. Then we have other people, right? Every time you turn around, they got an excuse. They got something new going on. They got a new job. They got a new girlfriend. They got a new sidekick. They got a new this. They got a new best friend. They bought a new car. They back to a hoopty. They riding a bike. Listen, if that's your life, how can you be consistent within the space? It shows your lack of consistency. So again, it is simple, but it could be very hard for some and easy for others. Right. Consistency is a big part of this.
And I heard a quote once. Yeah, I heard a quote once that went really well with it. I can't remember the exact verbiage, so don't y'all try to hold me to it. But it was something on the lines of, you will be punished or rewarded based upon the life you had before network marketing. Yep. So, and I found that to be very interesting, right? Like, I thought that was, and it's just what Amanda is saying, like that saying, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yep.
And you know, and people hate to hear that, right? Because they're like, oh, well, I'm a good mom. I'm just not good at this. I'm not just not good at that. But if you go deeper into it, when you dive into it and you get to the root of everything, you can, you know, understand when you take the emotion out of it, is what I say. If
Absolutely.
you take the emotion, yes, Pat, I know you're here with me, girl. When you take the emotion out of it, you can finally see. Like, you cannot see anything if you have emotion in it, right, ladies? Emotion is like a killer. Take your emotions out. We're not in person.
And that's the thing that I tell. And you hit it right on the nail on the head. Is the emotional side. You know why? Because people have a hard time dealing with reality, and people don't like to be checked. That's what it is. Y'all know, those that are from New York, you know what I'm talking about when I talk about being checked.
Oh,
right? Nobody want to be checked. You all right, go ahead. Florida too. Nobody want to be checked. You don't want to hear the reality and the true story because we're so used to living behind excuses, right? We're so used to playing the victim. Oh, we being victimized. Oh, I'm the victim, right? So what we're doing is we're opening up that to say we got to take that away. We need to open this up. We need to take out the excuses. Yeah, we need to talk about how consistent you are and how consistent you haven't been. And yes, sometimes it's hard to hear that because nobody wants to hear the things that they're not doing. But sometimes it has to be said because, again, like when my ex-boyfriend told me, oh, I need to put myself together. When he said it, I felt like, how dare you, you peasant. Right? That's what's going on. And again,
I got my own business.
Exactly. And again, that was the emotional side, right? That was the emotions.
Exactly.
But then when I lay down at night and I really thought about it.
You thought about it.
Right? That's what we got to do. I had to check myself.
You went from reaction to creation.
That's right. That's right.
Beautiful.
No excuses, like Jane said. No excuses. No excuses. Right. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do better. Why? Yes. Because it's only going to make me a better person.
Exactly.
And your desired result is worth it. You guys have to remember that. Yes. Your desired result is
worth
always
totally worth it.
Always.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
And the better person you became, the better you had to offer to the people who wanted to learn the lessons, right?
Absolutely.
That's
right. Absolutely.
This is,
and I think the biggest fear, like what we talk about, Pat, is people think that success is going to change them, but it's not going to change you. You are who you are. Success is going to shine a light on who you are.
Exactly. You know it heightens who you already are.
Yes.
You know, and I just realized that by me getting dressed up and putting my makeup on and making sure I look good, it just made me feel better about myself. But now I stand even taller, right? And that's what it's all about. That's why I tell people marketing is everything in this business. It's everything. And sometimes you have to do it even when you don't feel like it, because that's what separates you from the rest.
Absolutely.
And that's where your breakthrough comes. Your breakthrough comes from that moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
And so, and Amanda, we have gone on. So I'm gonna go into the next question and then let Pat ask the last question. I don't know what my computer's doing. But the question that we have is that, you know, lately it seems that people online are just steadily thinking about multiple streams of income, you know, beginning something new. So, like, from your experience, when would you say it's okay to add something new on? Like, if you're in a business, you're consistent, you started making money, when would you say it's okay to start something new, to add on to what you're already doing?
Okay, so there's a few things that you have to take into consideration, right? Because this is what happens to most, right? The first thing that's important is your following. How many people are following you, consistently following you? How much are you making on a monthly basis is important. Okay, is that consistent? And how much have you learned within your journey before you move on to another opportunity? I tell the average person to give it at least a year, at least 1 year. Because what happens is if you move around before then, you're going to take a small percentage of people to your next opportunity, but it's not going to be enough in order for you to maintain a full-time income. So if you got a following, but you only have like 10 people or 15 people that always follow you into a new opportunity, is that enough for a full-time income? More than likely it's not. But if you build it up for a year and a half, and now you have hundreds of people following you into another opportunity, 75 people, 50 people, 65, 87 people, that's where you start hitting the numbers where it matters. So there's a few things that you have to take into consideration when you start moving around, because nobody wants to keep moving and bouncing around, and then you're bringing 3 people here, 2 people here, 2 people here, 1 person there, 5 people there. It just doesn't add up.
Not at all.
You have to do it. You have to do it where you have an entourage, and if you move here, you got 100 people. So in your first week, 2 weeks, you make what I made in IPS, what, 30,000 in 2 months.
Wow.
That only can happen when you build the following. You build the following. Once you have the following, then you could bring in that truckload of people, and it's not just a little bit trickling here, a little bit trickling there. You know, so those are the things you have to take into consideration.
Yeah.
So it's like really interesting that you said that. So like when people see your banners, for example, and they see us making money, and you know, you said you made 30 grand in one company, but they didn't see what led up to you building. And like we said, it's not always pretty. There takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
So you have to stay consistent with that program for at least 1 year, especially if you're a newbie, right? Is what you're saying. And then once you have a following that really likes you and trusts you and build a relationship with, and you see something fantastic, then you can introduce it to people. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yes, that is correct.
And then you go into this new program and everybody's excited, and boom, you build another momentum, and you can make 30 grand in 2 months as well. But people think it can happen in 2 weeks or 2 months. And let me tell you, we're here to tell you anything's possible in life.
Anything is possible.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And
however, I'm not saying but, however,
you got to take your time. You got to have patience.
Gotta have
it's
patience.
a process. That's my favorite.
T, let's go through the messages. Go through the messages on the wall. What are people saying?
Facebook, baby. Yes, thank you, Amanda. Like we said, if it was Amanda, you guys would not have us. Amanda put us together.
There's a question here. There's a question online. Bones wants to know, is getting a new apartment every year consistent?
Absolutely not.
In New York, it is actually in New York.
You don't get a new one. You renew.
It depends on where you're living at, right?
Right.
The amount of money we pay in rent here in New York, gosh.
Yes.
And we got Arkansas in the house, Missouri in the house, Miami in the house, and the island of Curacao. Welcome. So let's go into the, if it's okay with you, Amanda, since you've shared so much of your heart with everybody here, is it okay if we do a quick Q&A?
Sure.
Perfect. And is there anything, and then if you have anything else you want to add to the questions that we've given you, please feel free. Anybody have a question that they'd like to ask? Now is the time. And
feel free to pop up.
Takeisha's going to read the questions.
Okay.
Yeah, let's close out this full screen here.
Yes, because it takes
time
to see it here.
Jamie says Amanda always shares her heart.
Yeah.
Dan Malucci says hello. Any questions?
Any questions from Amanda?
Yes.
I guess I don't see any questions.
Wonderful.
People are just getting a lot of value.
Comments.
Well,
so far. I'm gonna check with Facebook because I just see the ones coming up on the StreamYard. So let's see.
Okay. Okay, check on Facebook before we go on with our last question. And Pat will take that last question.
Say it
Well,
again.
Pat, as a matter of fact, you can go ahead and ask that last question while I'm pulling up the Facebook.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So this is actually, you'll like this question, Amanda. So let's say you lost everything, God forbid, you lost everything, but you still have your cell phone and your computer, your laptop, but you lost everything. No list, you know, you don't have $100 grand socked in the bank so you could like buy a million leads. Just your phone, 30 days, and your computer. What would you do? What would you do to recreate your success within the 30 days? And remember, you don't have that list that you have today.
Okay, so the first thing that I would do is I would get me a Facebook software tool. That's the first thing.
Okay, listen, let's write this down because this is worth a lot of money here.
Yep.
Take notes, guys.
Get a Facebook tool.
All right.
Yep, I would get a Facebook software tool.
Okay.
I would go into Fiverr and I would have my professional cover photo made, recreated all over again from scratch. I would pay $25 to $45 and have one done. I would start running my tool every single day, twice a day for the next 30 days. Twice a day. I would then start building my content. My content would be done in one day for the entire week. When I talk about fire content, I'm talking about fire professional photos. I'm talking about content that would just blow your mind away. I would put together content. I would have that on my page for the next 30 days.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would do Facebook Lives once a week. I would take those Facebook Lives and put them right on to my brand new free YouTube channel. My funnel will be created right away. I'll go and grab me an autoresponder, and I would have a funnel created with a capture page and my sales page. And I would make sure that that was up and running the first day that I started my online journey. If I didn't know what to do, I would pay somebody to do it. I would not even start business without it.
Wow.
And that's what I would do. I would start all over again. I would not leave out anything. I would not be afraid of Facebook Lives. I would not be afraid of talking in front of the camera. I would not put up any cheap, cheesy photos. I wouldn't just put up content just to say something. It would have a lot of heartfelt, warm, fuzzy stuff going on inside.
Wow.
I would connect with my audience, sharing my lifestyle. I would talk about everything that I lost and how it happened. I would let people know that they're not in this alone and how we're going to start over together. And I would share my results with them, whether it was a new lead, new money, a new group, whatever it is. Every time something positive happened within those 30 days, I would share it with everyone that wanted to listen.
Wow.
That was gold right there.
You know, listen, if I were you, everyone on this call tonight, live, be very grateful, be very thankful that you're here and come back and listen to this. Because if you don't think I'm going to redo some of my work, I'm personally going to do that. Right? I'm going to redo some of the things I do or don't do. Like, I love that, heartfelt, warm, and fuzzy. And she would tell them how she lost it all. She would tell people, hey, this is how I lost it. This is what happened. Now, how do we rise together? I love that. Because you never see people telling the story of how they lost it. You only see the glory, right? But what happened to the person who's struggling? I love that.
That's right.
I love that. Ladies and gentlemen, right there, you have your recipe. We have paid thousands and thousands of dollars for this recipe. It's really right here. Amanda just gave it away. So please come back and really study this live.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Wow. I'm blown away. I wrote everything. 30 days. She had nothing. She didn't have her list of 100,000. All she had was her cell phone a few dollars, of course, because we all have a few dollars, but not 100.
And guess what? And if I didn't have a few dollars,
Mm-hmm.
listen, if I didn't have a few dollars, I would go right into my apartment and sell some of the things that I do not use to make sure I got those few dollars.
So she could hire the person on Fiverr. So she could hire someone, maybe a good friend of hers who's a great photographer, but it's not going to charge her $500. They'll charge her $100. And then
listen, I'm going on vacation this week, the end of this week. I'm going to Florida.
Woo!
I'll be down there with Tikeja.
Yes,
I'll be in Florida.
We need to link up.
Yes.
Orlando.
I'm gonna be in Cape Coral.
Oh,
Cape Coral.
That's not far.
Yeah.
That's not far.
Well, we definitely need to link up.
Yeah.
But listen to this. I have a professional photographer taking pictures, charging $145 an hour.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
No, you can't. That's a great price. That's a great price.
Yeah.
And people be like $145, but if you really think about it, how much you go through when you're spending that money on coffee and donuts and eating out and going to the movies. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Especially if you're going to a hotel. The bill for a coffee and a cake is like $30.
It's expensive. Yeah. So I'm spending $145 to have professional photos taken that I can stretch out for the rest of this year.
Yes.
You can't beat that.
Oh, I know
beat that.
What people don't get. It's an investment.
In beautiful Florida.
Yes, that is awesome. You have a question?
Sun and beach.
Yeah, it says, what's a good, let's see. What's good I can use or go in order to set up or create a funnel to use? I think they're asking what's a good tool? Yeah, a funnel to use.
We love Active Campaign and we love Get Response. Those are our go-to when it comes to affiliate marketing. So Active Campaign or Get Response.
I love Get Response because they have an incredible amount of tools in there besides.
They do.
Yeah, the autoresponder.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Pure value. Thank you, ladies, for sharing. And somebody wrote, Liza says, very good recipe. Thank you, ladies. Loved this conversation. Stephanie, thank you. Great information. And with that, I think, does anybody have any other question, comment to make? And we can.
One comment that was made by Lisa. She said, Amanda just provided the recipe of success.
That's right.
Yes,
if you guys didn't catch it all, or if you just are now getting on, if you're just now logging on, you guys need to rewind this. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna be here forever, right? And if you guys, you guys need to connect with Amanda. Her name is Amanda Wray, right? You can go
AmandaRay.com, WRAY.
That's right. Or you can connect with us through onlinesuccessmadesimple.com. All right. So we're here every Friday. What?
We have a question. Sorry. I just love to get all our questions in. Amanda, question. Would you suggest to start immediately with Facebook Live after starting as a newbie?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The sooner the better. Like now.
Yes.
And if you have any questions.
Get it out the way now.
Yeah. Fail fast forward. Fast forward.
Yes.
The good thing about lives is what you see is what you get. There's no rehearsing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we don't rehearse this, guys. We just like turn it on. Let's go.
Yeah. You know what? People love when you're being raw and authentic.
Yes.
And when you get to making $100,000 a month and you want to hire somebody and do all those incredible videos with all that's something we could talk about 6 months down the line. But for now, get on the camera and just say hello, everyone.
So Anthony wants to know, do you talk earlier about what Facebook tool does? If not, what does the tool do? What does that tool do? The Facebook tool you were referring to?
Yeah, well, the tool does a few things, but I only use it mainly for a couple of things, right? Because I like to be hands-on when it comes to my Facebook page. Like going out and getting targeted traffic and removing people who are not engaging with your content.
Yes.
So that's what I mainly use it for. But some of them, they have where they like your post, where they send out messages. I don't use those things, but I do want targeted traffic to my page. And I want to get rid of people who are not engaging with my content. So that's what I mainly use it for.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Very,
Very good.
Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that question. Thank you. We love questions, guys. We appreciate you. So we're coming at the top of the hour now. We've taken up a few minutes of your time, guys.
Yes.
So every Tuesday, live at 5. We love having you guys here, and we will see you each and every Tuesday right here, live at 5.
Live at 5.
You guys
Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amanda.
And I hope you enjoyed yourself as well.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Live at 5. All right, Amanda. We'll be on a few minutes.
Peace out. Thanks.
Peace out.